Join me as I take a look at all the awesome new manga releases for September of 2024. Welcome to the Manga Buyer's Guide for September 24, the video series where we sit down and take a look through the manga release calendar, and I talk about all the notable new releases that are coming out to help manga readers and collectors like ourselves make better, more informed decisions on what purchases we make each month. Now, as always, I do want to point out that I don't cover the entirety of the release calendar. I only focus on what I consider to be notable new releases, which are new first volumes, final volumes, and any single volume release. The reason I focus on those and I don't cover any, volume 2 and beyond of popular titles is because if you're already following a series, you know that there's a new volume coming out, and the whole point of these videos is to help readers find things that they otherwise may have missed out on. There are so many new manga coming out every month, every week, and from so many different publishers that, ones that you might not even have heard of, so it's very easy to miss something, and it's my goal to help make sure that you don't miss any of these new releases and that you find something that could be your next new favorite. So, all that said, let's jump into it. We have some releases from the 3rd of September, starting off with something from Ayazawa over at Viz Media's Shoujo Beat label, Last Quarter. So Ayazawa, of course, is the creator of Nana, Neighborhood Story, and Paradise Kiss, amongst many other things. So if you are a fan of her other works, this is something you're going to want to pick up. This was a 3-volume series in Japan, but I believe, I couldn't find confirmation, but I believe that the Viz Media release is just 2 volumes. This is a supernatural mystery about 2 star-crossed lovers. So if you're into romance, supernatural mystery, stuff like that, this is going to be a cool one to pick up. And it's not going to take up much space on your shelf, so it's not a huge commitment. Now, of course, it looks like Viz is giving a lot of focus to Ayazawa lately. They reprinted Nana after a huge demand for it online, and that sold so well that they decided to go ahead and do licenses for both Neighborhood Story and now Last Quarter. And I wouldn't be surprised if, because both Neighborhood Story and Last Quarter are rather short series, we see more of her works getting licensed in the near future. The next licensing event from Viz, by the way, should be either the end of this month, September, or at the beginning of October. Now, moving onward from Webtoon Unscrolled, we get Morgana and Oz. I believe this is aimed more towards younger readers, so it sounds like something that if you've got some younger teens or preteens in your life that you want to get a gift for, this could be a good one to get them into. Struggling witch Morgana meets the angsty vampire Oz, and the two will need to learn to get along, or else they'll risk all-out war between the witch coven and the vampire clan. Sounds like a fun series, young reader or not, honestly. So moving on then from Tokyo Pop and their Love label, we have Let's Eat Together, Aki and Haru. This is a short 3-volume BL series about a couple of roommates and friends in college. One of them, Aki, has mastered the art of affordable home cooking to keep him and Haru motivated throughout the school year. Sounds really cute. Sounds like something really wholesome. A nice slice of life there. And like I said, it's only 3 volumes. Moving on, we get several new things coming from 7 Seas Entertainment. First is At 25 in Akasaka. I don't know if it's 25 or 25 o'clock or whatever, how you read the title, but At 25 in Akasaka. This is an award-winning BL series about 2 actors who are researching a relationship, and it does have a live-action adaptation, so if you've seen the live-action, you might want to jump onto this BL series. It is an ongoing title, so do keep that in mind. It currently has 5 volumes in Japan, so it might be a longer commitment. Most BLs are like 1 volume or a few volumes, so when it's a longer ongoing one, that is a little bit interesting. Then, also from 7 Seas, I quit my apprenticeship as a royal court wizard to become a magic item craftswoman. This is an ongoing fantasy shoujo, and this one, the title kind of tells you what it's about, but after receiving an incredible education in the magical arts, Ilya grows tired of manipulative nobles and the scheming high court wizard, so she quits. Now she searches for something new, and crafting magical items may be that new thing. Another one from Seven Seas, this time in the Steamship label, is Loved by Two Fiancés. This one is a 3-volume josei smut title, so it is going to be more mature. That's why it's in the Steamship label. Hayase's fiancé is a hotshot lawyer who is sweet, caring, and handy in both the kitchen and the bedroom. However, when everything seems to be going well, he suddenly changes overnight into a tyrant. He looks the same, but he's not the fiancé that Hayase knows. And a final volume coming out in the first week, also from Seven Seas, is We Started a Threesome Volume 3. This comes from Katsuaki, the same creator as Futari Ecchi, which was also known in the US as Manga Sutra. I believe I mentioned that series before, but it was a pretty long title. It's like the One Piece of Ecchi manga, I would say, with how long it is. Anyway, very long. It was licensed by Tokyopop in the past, but because of the contents of the series, a lot of retailers would not carry it. So because most of the bigger retailers that they were going to be making their sales from weren't carrying it, they had to discontinue the title. Of course, it was Tokyopop, so it would have been discontinued anyway, but we only wound up getting like 2 or 3 2-in-1 volumes out of it. So here's Seven Seas licensing a much shorter title by the same creator, We Started a Threesome. I've read the first 2 volumes, I haven't read the final one yet, but it is pretty fun, pretty amusing of a series. It is about a threesome, but it is kind of a sweet series at the same time. Now, moving into the 10th, my most anticipated release of this month, and for quite a while, of course, is Trigun Deluxe Edition. This has been delayed so much, but it is finally here, and we've seen pictures of it in person, we've seen videos of people with it in person, so it does exist. No more waiting. Whatever was going on, whether it been with the distributor, printer, licensor, or whatever, those delays have been figured out, and according to release schedules, we should be getting a pretty steady release of the Trigun Maximum hardcovers after this. There will be 5 maximum hardcovers total to cover that entire series, but this first one covers the entirety of Trigun. If you're unfamiliar, Trigun was published originally as a shonen series. It lasted for 3 volumes in Japan, which were recollected into 2 volumes and released as such in the US by Dark Horse. The series has been re-released in Omnibus Edition in the US, but those have all been out of print for a while, and now finally, after years of being out of print, it's coming back in these hardcover editions, and I, for one, could not be more excited. I know that they were working on getting this license figured out to do these deluxe editions for like a couple years before they announced it, so this has been a long time coming, and I am so excited. So this is just labeled Trigun Deluxe Edition. Following this will be Trigun Maximum Volume 1, just to be clear, and this is the original source material for both the 90s anime and Trigun Stampede, which I believe was released in 2023 and does have a second season or a follow-up season because it's under a different name. I forget what the subtitle is. But all 3 of them are very different. Neither of the anime really followed the plot of the manga directly. The original anime did pretty closely follow Trigun, but then didn't go in the same direction as Maximum. It was kind of a Fullmetal Alchemist situation where the series was still ongoing, but they wanted to do more anime, so they just went into their own direction. It's still a great anime either way. Stampede went into a completely different direction as well. I'm hoping one day that we will get an accurate adaptation. Anyway, I can talk forever about this one, but I am obviously very excited. I'm a huge fan of the series, and I cannot wait to have it in this new format. And you can count on me making a video showing like a comparison, because I have the old editions in hardcover that were released limited to Barnes & Noble, so I will have a comparison video, hopefully be able to compare some of the translation and stuff, because I believe it's supposed to have a new translation. Anyway, I've talked enough about Trigun. I'm so sorry. Obviously, I'm excited about that. Moving on, next in the second week from Viz Media is Disney Twisted Wonderland, the manga anthology. This is an anthology following after the I think it was just 4-volume series for Disney Twisted Wonderland, which is all based on the smartphone game. The characters designed by Yana Toboso of Black Butler. So if you're a fan of Twisted Wonderland, this anthology series, which is I think ongoing but has 2 volumes out in Japan, should be a fun pickup for you. Moving onward, another from Viz, this time from the originals line, is I'm the Grim Reaper. This was originally serialized on Webtoon by Graveweaver. This first volume 240 pages for almost $20, so it is a bit expensive, but it's got a lot of content in there. This is an ongoing title, I believe, over at Webtoon. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Follows Scarlet, who finds herself doomed to eternal punishment in hell for a life of sin she can't even remember. But Satan offers her a deal: work as his reaper and return to Earth, where she will need to take the life of one marked sinner per day to stay away from the ninth circle of hell. So this one sounds pretty fun. I have enjoyed most of the output from the Viz Originals line, and this is one that I'm really looking forward to. Then from 7 Seas Entertainment, we get Perfect Buddy, also known as XXX Buddy. It's a workplace BL about the leads of the design and planning teams at prestige men's magazine City Casual, who constantly butt heads until an encounter in the men's restroom. Then moving onward, we've got another 7 Seas book, Hatsune Miku Cantarella, Poison of Blue. This is a single volume Miku manga based on the Vocaloid song Cantarella, which is based on the story of the House of Borges. So if you're a Miku fan, this is going to be a good, easy, single volume pickup for you. Next up, another from 7 Seas, Otonari Complex. This is a 5-volume completed shoujo title, so not too big of a commitment. Childhood friends and neighbors, a girlish boy and a boyish girl, have to work through their feelings and identity and love. Or their feelings about identity and love, sorry. I'll learn to read one day. Next is one that I'm really excited about, a classic manga coming from New York Review Comics. We don't get many from New York Review. Ninja Sarutobi Sasuke. Now, this is a 60s gag manga that's using the classic character from Japanese literature, Ninja Sarutobi Sasuke, in crazy adventures complete with pop art and trippy visuals. Now, personally, I'm really excited about the Ninja Sarutobi Sasuke book. I really love, because we don't get a lot of like 60s manga translated in English, so I really love picking up whatever I can when it comes out. But if you're not into older manga, that's definitely not going to be for you. Moving on, we get one from One Piece Books, and that is Kurokiya-san Wants to Lead Him Around by the Nose. This is a romantic comedy ecchi series currently ongoing about Rue, a gyaru about to fail out of school, who begins to be tutored by her A-student childhood friend, but she's more focused on trying to seduce him than studying. Then from Tokyo Pop and Disney Manga, we have Disney's Kilala Princess, the Collection, Book 1. This was originally released by Tokyo Pop across 5 volumes and is now being released across 2 of these collections. And this is about a girl who loves stories about princesses who is thrust into her own fantasy adventure. Then we have some final volumes coming out in this week. First up is Love's in Sight, Volume 8 from Viz Media. This was a cute little rom-com about a blind girl and a delinquent boy. If you like, slice of life, easy to read rom-com series, this is definitely one to pick up. And at 8 volumes, it's not a huge commitment. And then we have Naruto Sasuke's story, The Uchiha and the Heavenly Stardust, Volume 2. This is wrapping up the adaptation of the light novel of the same name. So this is the end of Sasuke versus dinosaurs, essentially. Then we have, also from Viz, from the Originals line, is World Peace Volume 4. This was a fun JRPG-inspired series about a basketball-playing teen sucked into an intergalactic adventure. Reading through this one, you could really feel the way that this was inspired by JRPGs, and just like the structure of the story and the way that the character meets his friends that make his group. Anyway, then we have from Vertical and Kodansha is Virgin Love Volume 4. This is the finale of the romance series about an inexperienced girl who decides to live in a love house. And then from 7 Seas, one more final volume for this week is Mushoku Tensei Roxy Gets Serious Volume 12. It's the end of this spin-off manga series from the Mushoku Tensei franchise. All right, now moving right along into the 3rd week, on the 17th, we start off with another big one coming from Viz Media, and one that I'm particularly excited for, and that is Trillion Game. This comes from Riichiro Inagaki, the writer of Eyeshield 21 and of Dr. Stone, and then Ryoichi Ikegami, the artist of many series like Crying Freeman and Sanctuary. This is a story of 2 men who team up in hopes of starting a company that will eventually make them 2 of the richest people in the world. This is a still ongoing seinen that's being published published in Big Comic Superior, and something that I have had wanted to see published in English for a little while. So whenever Viz did announce that one a couple of rounds of announcements ago, I was extremely excited to see that it was happening. Moving on, another one that I'm super excited about coming from Kodansha Comics is Tank Chair by Manabu Yashiro. This is also ongoing currently. This one I knew nothing about. I'd never heard of it, but as soon as it was announced and I saw the title and the cover, I was like, I'm all in on this one. So this is about the world's deadliest assassin who took a bullet in order to protect his sister and is now left in a comatose state and having to use a wheelchair. However, his sister has found the trick to waking him up is to have him be faced with murderous intent. So thus begins a violent journey of recovery. So essentially, this deadly assassin now has the deadliest wheelchair in the world, and he just needs to be woken up in order to continue going on his his assassin ways. I'm really looking forward to this one. It looks like a ton of fun. Another one coming from Kodansha is I cross-dressed for the IRL meetup. This is going to be a 2-in-1 collection, so this first volume has volumes 1 and 2. This is about Coco, who has found friendship in an all-girls group who meet to have desserts, but the only problem is that Coco is actually a male cross-dresser. So will that be an issue for the girls group, or will they continue to have fun together in this gender bender slice of life series? Then also from Kodansha Comics comes Spoil Me Please, spelled with 3 Z's, Hinamori-san. This is a complete 3-volume Yuri series about a needy class princess and her biggest fan who discovers that she isn't as perfect as she puts on. Then moving on to 7 Seas Entertainment, we've got a BL series After School Etude. This is currently ongoing and is about 2 unlikely dance partners who make the perfect pair. Next up, coming from 7 Seas, is Hatsukoi Note. This one is a complete in one book, but it's labeled as Volume 1, so I'm guessing that they're going to be doing the spin-off / side story as Volume 2. This is a BL about Shoya, who discovers an online diary he finds is written by his classmate Tsubame, who is also known to be a lone wolf. The object of the diary's affections seem to be Shoya's friend Ryu, so he attempts to play matchmaker, but this may conflict with his own feelings. Then after this, we have from Yen Press, going to be a lot from Yen Press, just warning y'all, Detroit Become Human, Tokyo Story. So this is a spin-off from from Detroit Become Human. It is a 2-volume series, so not a big commitment. While in the US, they are very anti-android. Japan has become quite the opposite, as seen by their adoration of the android idol Reina. However, deviant androids have begun to appear, rejecting their duty for free will and real emotions. Next up from Yen is From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, my hotshot disciples are all grown up now and they won't leave me alone. I think that's the winner for longest title this month. This is an ongoing seinen fantasy action series about Beryl, who runs a fencing dojo in a countryside village and is one day approached by a former student of his who's become the Knights Commander of the kingdom. Beryl decides to follow her and become the special instructor of the Knights. Then next from Yen is Pink and Habanero. This is an ongoing shoujo title that's been going since 2021, so it currently has 10 volumes, so it's probably going to be a little bit of a longer title. About Mugi, a girl afraid to talk to guys, let alone date one. She sees Kei turning down a confession, but then later in the same day she meets Kei elsewhere acting completely different. What will happen now that she knows Kei's secret? This is one that I've heard a lot about prior to it being licensed by Yen Press, so I know that a lot of the shoujo fans are a big fan of this one, and I'm excited to check it out. Next up, another shoujo coming from Yen Press is Spring Storm and Monster. This is about Ranko, who just wants to keep her head down, but one day a random guy is hurled into her path. She finds out he's actually her new stepbrother, and now has to put up with living with this violent jerk. This one is also still ongoing, but only has 5 volumes so far in Japan, so not quite as long thus far as Pink and Habanero. Next, we've got Togen Anki, Legend of the Cursed Blood. This one actually has an anime adaptation on the way. This one again from Yen Press is about Shiki, who has Oni blood while his father has Momotaro blood. Those with Momotaro blood hunt the Oni, but Shiki's father refused to kill him as an infant and instead adopted him. When Shiki's father is killed, he vows revenge, but will he be strong enough to survive what faces him? And then from Eyes Press is Finding Camellia. This is a fantasy series, a historical fantasy series about a young girl who's thrust into an aristocratic family and vows that she will one day reclaim the life that was stolen from her. Moving on, we got a couple from Tuttle, Kenji Miyazawa's Restaurant of Many Orders and Other Stories. This adapts Kenji Miyazawa's Restaurant of Many Orders, The Wild Cat and the Acorns, and The Twin Stars. And then also from Tuttle, Soseki Natsume's Bochan. This is a manga adaptation of the comedy novel Bochan about a young man trying to survive the hypocrisy of everyone around him. Then we get one from Last Gasp this month, Ultra Heaven by Keiichi Koike. This is one I've been really looking forward to since it was announced. I believe this is a 3-volume series, so not too long. In the future, pump bars allow you to experience any mood you wish, but the standard dosage isn't enough for Cub, so he decides to seek more from an unauthorized source. This is going to be a really trippy psychological sci-fi title, so again, I'm really looking forward to this one and can't wait to pick this one up later this month. Then another one from One Piece Books, Hero Without a Class, Who Even Needs Skills? This is the manga companion to the series. In this world, everyone receives a class and skill at the age of 10, but Aurel has no class whatsoever, so now he must work hard to become a new kind of hero. Moving along over to another Tokyo Pop series from the Love line. This is, I believe, a single volume release. The Troublesome Guest of Sotomura Detective Agency. It's a BL that follows a private investigator and his new roommate / lover, who he finds was a classmate from his past. Then we got some final volumes coming out in this third week on the 17th, starting off with Viz Media's Tokyo These Days, Volume 3. This is the end of their newest Taiyo Matsumoto release. This is a slice of life series about a manga creator. I personally love anything by Taiyo Matsumoto, so I definitely recommend this if you're into slice of life stuff, but I know his style is not going to be for everyone, but personally, it does come highly recommended from me. Then from Yen Press, the final volume of Your Turn to Die, Majority Vote Death Game, Volume 5, ends this Death Game series. Then over at 7 Seas, we get a final volume for Obey Me. Volume 3 ends this series based on the Obey Me franchise. So if you're a fan of Obey Me, then you can get the whole manga now from 7 Seas. And then over at Vertical and Kodansha, we have Blood on the Tracks, Volume 17, of course from Shuzo Oshimi. This is the finale to Oshimi's long-running psychological thriller series. This has been one of my favorites since it started being published out here in the US, and I cannot wait to grab this final volume and wrap it all up. And another big final volume coming from Kodansha is Fire Force Omnibus Volume 12. This has volumes 33 and 34 wrapping up the entirety of Atsushi Okubo's series. I've been really enjoying reading this one for the first time in these omnibus editions. So now they've completed it. As of this, they will have completed in 2 different formats, the single volumes and the omnibus editions, and they will also, they are currently releasing the box sets. So if you didn't pick it up in singles, you didn't pick up an omnibus, box sets are another good option for you. And then one more from Kodansha, Sailor Moon Naoko Takeuchi Collection Volume 10. This is the final volume of the classic Shoujo Magical Girl series, collecting the end of that series. It's basically the same as the Eternal editions, but not the same large trim size. It's more like a standard manga trim size for a cheaper price as well. And we did get the announcement earlier in the summer that Kodansha is going to be putting out the Sailor V series in this same format as well. Now, before we move into the final week of releases, a quick word from the sponsor of the channel. I'd like to mention to y'all Walt's Comic Shop. Thank you so much to Waltz for supporting this channel for a while. I love mentioning Waltz because I know that I have viewers of this channel who are all over the place, and while a lot of y'all, like myself, are here in the US and we have plenty of options to buy manga at great prices from many different retailers, be it Crunchyroll, In-Stock Trades, Amazon, etc., or going to Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and whatever. Folks out in other parts of the world don't have as many options, and if you are in the EU, then Walt's Comic Shop is a fantastic option to go with for your manga needs. Or if you want to pick up something from Western comics like Marvel, DC, Image, etc., Walt's does also have them. They have a fantastic selection of comics and manga, great prices, great shipping, great customer service. So definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop if you need a retailer out in the EU. I would recommend them. I've heard nothing but great things. And if you are a first-time shopper over at Walt's, you can use the code TheOmnibusCollector to get free shipping on your first order of €40 or more within the EU. So again, use that code TheOmnibusCollector to save on shipping for your first order of €40 or more within the EU. Now, moving on, thanks again to Walt's Comic Shop. Now let's get into the books that come out on the 24th of September. Starting off with a big one, physically, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Complete Box Set. This has the entire 11-volume series by Akira Himekawa, adapting the Twilight Princess manga, and I really recommend this, especially if you are a fan of the Legend of Zelda games. This is by and far the best Zelda manga, maybe second only to Shotaro Ishinomori's adaptation of Link to the Past, but that is based entirely on just Ishinomori's beautiful painted artwork throughout that manga. I do recommend picking that one up as well. But this one differs quite a bit from all the other Zelda manga because usually you get just a single volume, maybe 2 volumes, rushing through the storyline of the video game and not really giving any time for the story and the plot and narrative to unfold and give you any time with these characters. But Himekawa was given an ongoing series for Twilight Princess, and it turned out really well. Like, even if you're not a fan of Zelda, I feel like this is just a fun fantasy manga to get into. So definitely recommend this one, again, especially if you are a Zelda fan and you haven't already picked it up. Hopefully there are other Zelda manga that we haven't seen released in the US, so hopefully we'll get more of those in the near future. Then coming from Kodansha Comics is The Boy I Loved Became the Jaded Emperor. As a child, Princess Alexei was saved from a monster by a mysterious woman. They happily spent years together in the forest, but eventually his life caught up with him and Alexei became the emperor with no interest in romance. However, the woman who had saved him was recently reborn as the daughter of a duke, Eleonora, and fate has brought them back together at the imperial court. This is a ongoing josei fantasy series. Then over at Seven Seas, we have a single volume release, Handsome Girl and Sheltered Girl Complete Manga Collection. This is a shoujo romance title. Satomi is enlisted by a friend to find guys to work at a cross-dressing cafe, so she asks her handsome friend Mizuki. Mizuki agrees, but only if Satomi will agree to a date. Satomi agrees, delighted that such a good-looking guy is interested in her, but realized that she was mistaken. Mizuki is actually a girl. Then over at Ablaze Manga, we get a couple new releases this week. First up, Happy Land by Shingo Honda. This is a 2-volume seinen horror mystery series. This is following the father of the Komiya family who decides to take them for a day at the amusement park. However, things are going to go poorly for his happy family as Happy Land Amusement Park is full of deadly attractions that will reveal their most shameful secrets by the time the curtains are called by Mr. Rabbit. Then also from Ablaze is Tomorrow the Birds by Osamu Tezuka. This is a classic collection of manga from Tezuka, stories about a future where birds have become the Earth's dominant species. Then next up we have from Tokyo Pop and the Love line is Boys Gilding the Lily Shall Die. This is an ongoing Yuri manga about 2 high school trumpet players whose lives become complicated as the last competition of their high school careers draws near. Next up from Tokyo Pop is A Smart and Courageous Child. This one is about Sara Takano, who has hopes for her unborn child's future, but after learning of the Taliban's attempted assassination of Malala Yousafzai, she becomes concerned with how she could possibly keep her own baby safe. I also want to apologize because I'm sure I pronounced the name incorrectly there. I haven't heard it said out loud, and I'm sorry. that is a single volume release, by the way, of this dramatic and important volume. Next up is Whales of the Bound from Tokyo Pop in the Love Love line. Once again, this is an 18+ Omegaverse Office Place BL about an alpha employee and his new Omega manager. And then another one from Tokyo Pop's Love Love line, a lot of those just getting shoved into the last week of the month here. World's End Bluebird by Anji Sena. This is an ongoing BL series, fantasy BL, set in a world where a meteor has hit Earth, but Tokyo is saved by a powerful sorcerer. Years later, the city is split between the rich and poor, with the descendants of the sorcerer ruling over everyone. And then one more from One Piece Books this month is Nukozuke. This is a long ongoing shoujo title. It has 21 volumes so far in Japan, started back in 2012, about Nukos, who are pocket-sized humanoid cats. In this story, Yuya finds 2 abandoned on the side of the road and brings them into his home out of the rain. Yuya will do his best to use his cooking and sewing skills to take care of his new housemates. Then we get one from Kuma, Wolfpack by Billy Bali, the author of Fangs. It is a BL single volume manga about a tribe of wolves. And we end the month on one more final volume coming out from 7 Seas Entertainment, and that is the long-awaited Barbarities Volume 4. This is the finale to the historical BL series from 7 Seas. I think it's like a little over a year since the last volume was published, and I know this one got pushed back a few times. So that's it. Everything for September as far as the notable new releases. A lot of stuff that I am super excited to check out. A lot of things that there's a lot for everyone this month. I know that I think last month Tokyo Pop didn't put out a lot, so that's why so much of it got pushed over into this month, but a lot of really cool stuff that I'm looking forward to picking up this month. But let me know in the comments below what you are looking forward to, because I'm really curious to hear from y'all. What of the books that I talked about are you looking to pick up? What did I talk about that you didn't know were coming out that you are now excited about? And what about stuff that I didn't talk about? Any of the volumes 2 and onward? Any of your favorite series that have new volumes coming out this month? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious. Either way, thank you so much for watching the video. If you are new here, I hope that you'll consider hitting that subscribe button so you can watch along all the new videos that I put out. I should get more out going soon, because as I mentioned in my last video and on the community post on the channel recently, I did get help from someone. I got James, friend of the channel, friend of a lot of my channel's friends as well, to help me in making the graphics. So thank you, James, for making the graphics for this video. And with him doing that, I'm going to be able to put a lot more content out, as it won't be taking me personally as much time to do all this stuff. So hopefully you'll see more from me than just my monthly buyer's guides in the near future, including a rundown of every new announcement that came out of all the conventions and stuff over the summer, such as Anime Expo and Anime NYC. And then I will soon get back onto doing my haul videos as well. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing some stuff with my library right now, changing some things around. If you want to know more about that, definitely follow me on Twitter at OmniCollector, because I've been posting updates every time I put more of the library together. And once I get everything done, I will have to do a big tour, of course. So yeah, make sure you're following and stay tuned for all of that stuff. And again, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.